नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्य देशतारिणे। ओम ज्ञानगम्येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितमेन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सखगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सखगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पति गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वरा परम कृष्णा सच्चिदानंद विग्रहम अनादिरादिर गोविंदा सर्व कारण कारणम। हरे कृष्णा। By Lord Sri Krishna's causeless mercy, we are successfully studying Bhagavad Gita every day, and we finished 12 slokas in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, knowledge of the absolute. So now we are studying about the three modes of material nature. When Krishna is teaching about himself, Krishna is also giving us the knowledge about the Maya. Here Krishna is using the word Maya. So normally these three gunas, they can be called as Maya. So in this chapter, in the 7th chapter, Krishna is going to explain very clearly that how this Maya is controlling us, how much strong, how much powerful it is. Because we are in this world, we are acting under the control of Maya. Everyone is acting, everyone is forced. Most of the Bhagavad Gita teaches us about how we are forced. In each and every activity, if we study this Bhagavad Gita fully, all the chapters, all the slokas, if we understand it completely, we will be able to very clearly, we will be able to figure it out in each and every activity, which mode of nature is controlling us. There are three modes of nature, as we studied earlier in the 12th sloka in the 7th chapter. Krishna said that, Echaiva satvika bhavaga rajasa tamasaschaye. So sattva-guna, rajoguna and tamo-gunas, these three gunas. But which guna, which mode of nature is acting on us at a given time? It is possible for us to find out. It is easily possible for us to figure out if we have the complete knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and just go through this. Like in medicines, those who study medical schools. So the doctors, basically, they are taught to find out what is the disease based on the symptoms. So they will find out what are all the symptoms we have. Then based on that, they will be able to diagnose. So that we call it as diagnosis. So what is the disease we have? So similarly, we can become spiritual doctors with this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. If we understand this Bhagavad Gita knowledge fully, very clearly, then if we know completely, that's the main thing. If you know very, very clearly, because this Bhagavad Gita is the Raja Vidya. It is the king of knowledge. This Bhagavad Gita is the king of knowledge, Raja Vidya. And also the most confidential knowledge, Raja Guhyam. So if we get this knowledge completely, we can become spiritual doctors. That means we can even find out which mode of nature is controlling a person at a given point of time. And Krishna is saying that sometimes the mode of goodness dominates. sometimes the mode of passion, and at some other times the mode of ignorance. So, rajas tamas chabibhuyaga sattvam bhavati bharata, rajas sattvam tamaschaiva tamas sattvam rajas tata. So that's what Krishna is saying there. So rajas tamas, sometimes rajas tamas chabibhuyaga sattvam bhavati bharata. Sometimes the mode of goodness, sattvam, is predominant than the mode of passion and ignorance. And at some other times, the mode of passion. Rajas tamas chabibhuyaga sattvam bhavati bharata, rajas sattvam tamas chaiva. At some other point of time, tamoguna is very strong. Rajas sattvam tamas chaiva, tamas sattvam rajas tata. At some other point, rajoguna is very strong. So here, everyone is going to act in a particular way. Each and every individual will act in a particular way based on what mode of nature is forcing at that point of time. If no modes of nature are controlling us, is controlling us, if nothing is controlling us, then we will be free. We will not be forced to act. But in this material world, not even a single moment we are free. That is possible only a devotee who gets the complete knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and follows everything as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita and frees himself from the modes of nature. Only such a person, that means he has achieved the status of Samadhi. Samadhi means mind is very stable. Intelligence is very stable. It is not at all disturbed. Shruti vipratipannate yata stasyati nischala samadau achala buddhi tada yogam avapsesi. So when we can declare that a person has achieved yoga, the status of yoga, the status of yoga means the status of not getting disturbed by anything in this material world. So when we can declare that when a person is not disturbed by anything he hears, whatever we have heard in the past, whatever we are going to hear in the future, so nothing should bother us. So that's why yadate moga kalilam buddhi vyatittarishari tada gantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya sutasya. So shrotavyasya sutasya. So we should not be bothered, we should not be disturbed by whatever we have heard in the past, whatever we are going to hear in the future. So that status is called as Shruti Viprati. Shruti Viprati Pannati. That means not bothered, one is not disturbed through whatever is coming through our ears. So that means we are not, so when the senses, we are interacting with this material world using our senses, the main way of interacting, sometimes you see it. Most of the time you hear it. The news about what is happening in this world, what is happening everywhere, what is happening around us, everything. Most of the time, this Shruti is a very, very important part of sense. Out of 5 senses, this hearing is a very important. Shruti Vipratipannati, Shruti. That's why Krishna, when he, in the 4th chapter, when he talks about the yajna, how to perform different yajnas, at that time when he talks about offering all our senses into the mind control, at that time Krishna is saying that Shrotradi nanya samyamagnis juhvadi sabdadin visayan anya indriyagnisu juhvadi. So Shrotradini means hearing and Sabdadini means the sound. So some will offer all the senses, all the sense objects in the senses as an offering. That's what Sabdadin Visayan. Visayan Anya Indriyagnisu Jugudi. Indriyagnisu means the fire of senses. The fire of senses. Some will offer. And some will offer the senses itself in the fire of controlling, in the fire of mind control. Samyama Agnishu. Samyama Agnishu means the fire of sense control. So some will offer all the senses in the fire of sense control. It's an offering. Some will offer the sense objects in the fire of senses. So in that case, Krishna was referring to only Shrotra and Sabda. Shrotra means the hearing and Sabda is the sound. So that way, for us, this controlling the senses, this hearing is the very important thing. So that way, if we are able to control all our senses, so in this material world, when we are controlled by the modes of nature, when we are getting the news from others, when we are hearing about things which are happening, at that time, if we are not bothered, not disturbed by any of these things, so that means Shruti Vipratipannati. Shruti Vipratipannati means we are immune. We are immune to all things, whatever is coming to our ears. Whatever we are hearing through our ears, nothing is bothering us, nothing is disturbing us. So that is what is called Shruti Vipratipannati. So Shruti Vipratipannate yata stasyati nischala. So one who is able to be situated in that status of undisturbed mind. Yata stasyati nischala samadau achala buddhi. So when at that point of time his intelligence is very strong and very steady. Samadau achala. Achala buddhi. Nischala, achala. Both are same. Nischala in the previous line Krishna is saying nischala, here achala. So Shruti Vipratipannate yata stasyati nischala samadau achala buddhi tada yogam avapsasi. So that is the way to achieve yoga. Tada yogam avapsasi. That is the definition for yoga. Siddhi asiddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. So one who is equal in both success and failure. And in that status of equanimity is called yoga. So that means one who is not disturbed by anything. One who is not bothered, not disturbed by anything, whatever we have heard in the past and whatever we are going to hear in the future, nothing should bother us. So that is possible only if we are able to connect ourselves with Krishna. If we are able to focus our mind only on Krishna, not anything on this material world. If our mind is completely only focused on Krishna, then that is possible. So that is the way we need to achieve yoga. So that way we are, when we are like in this three modes of nature, material nature is controlling us, until we achieve that status of yoga, we are all the time forced to act by the three modes of material nature. All the time we are forced to act. We are not free until we reach that status. So with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we will be able to figure it out. We will be able to find it out what mode of nature is acting on every individual. Because most of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is teaching us how very clearly. Yajna, dana, tapa, everything. What in the modes of goodness, patience, and ignorance. Even the food we eat in the mode of patience, goodness, patience, and ignorance. When we watch what kind of food a person is taking, by that, just by knowing what food he is eating, from that itself we know that at that point of time what mode of nature control him. When a person eats food that is so much healthy, which increases health, happiness, satisfaction, which increases the duration of life and brings happiness, strength, health, and satisfaction. So that kind of foods are juicy, wholesome, and pleasing to the heart. Those kind of food, if anybody is taking, we will be able to declare that at that point of time, that person is controlled by the mode of goodness. But when a person takes the food which is too sour, salty, dry, hard, burning, and very hot, all such kind of food. So if a person takes that kind of food, we will be very well able to, we can figure it out, understand that person is controlled by the mode of passion at that point of time. Similarly, when a person takes a food which is very prepared long time ago, which has no juice in it, and which is decomposed, and it is remnants of others, and those kind of food, if a person takes, so then we can figure it out that person is influenced by the mode of ignorance. Ayugu sattva bala arogyam sukha preeti vivartanaga rasyaga srigdaga stiraga aharaga satvika priyaga. So that is the food in the mode of goodness, which increases the duration of life, gives health, strength, happiness, and satisfaction. Such foods are juicy, wholesome, and pleasing to the heart. Foods that are too sour, salty, pungent, they are very hot and burnt, all that kinds of foods, they are dearer to those in the mode of passion. Such foods cause distress, misery, and disease. Katvamila lavana ati usna tikshna vidahinaga aharaga rajasaseshtaga dukkha sokamaya pradaga. Such foods brings distress, misery, and disease. So like that, yatayamam gatarasam puti paryusitam chayapi uddishtam api chamedyam bhojanam tamasapriyam. So gatarasam means the juice is gone. There is no juice in it. So if person eats that kind of dry food, very dry food, there is no juice in it. Like eating breads and things like that, there is no juice in it. So Krishna is saying that such foods are in the mode of ignorance, which is very dry. There is no wetness in it. So yatayamam, it's prepared long time ago with all kinds of preservatives. So that kind of food, if anyone is taking, so that means that person is controlled by the mode of ignorance. So like that, we understand very well in Bhagavad Gita that it is possible. Similarly, when a person donates someone like dana, so there are also three types. It is there, Krishna is giving. And yajna, when a person performs yajna, three types, three modes of nature based on that. Yajna, dana, tapa, austerities. Then similarly, in the 18th chapter also, happiness, or knowledge in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Happiness in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So Krishna says that the happiness, a person who finds happiness in the material sense objects, so that means that person is in the mode of passion. Because that happiness in the beginning, it looks like nectar, but at the end, pariname visham iva. So at the end, it will become poison. Whereas for a person who finds happiness means in the beginning, even though you are sacrificing a lot of things, but you find it like very hard to taste. Hard to taste means happiness, hard to enjoy. In the beginning, it looks like poison actually. But at the end, it will become nectar. So that kind of happiness is in the mode of goodness. So like this, we will be able to find it out, figure it out if we understand the entire Bhagavad Gita, what mode of nature is acting on everyone. So that means you can become a spiritual doctor, then we can cure that disease. Only one medicine to cure this disease, that's it. Same medicine, only one medicine. That is Krishna's name. That's it. That is thinking about Krishna, remembering Krishna. Only by remembering Krishna only we can cure this disease. So this is a diseased condition having control by the three modes of material nature. But to cure that disease, we just have to remember Krishna. So that's why here Krishna is teaching us in this 7th chapter, we are studying about the three modes of nature. Krishna is saying that ye chaiva satvika bhavaga rajasa tamasaschaye mattaye vaiti tan vidhi natvaham tesu temai. So they come from me, you know that they come from me, these three modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. Natvagam tesu, I am not in them, but temai, but they are in me. That's what Krishna is saying. Natvagam tesu temai. Now Krishna is continuing in the next sloka, sloka number 13 in the 7th chapter. Tribhigi gunamayaihi bhavaihi yebhigi sarvamidam jagat mohitam nabhijanati mamebhyaga param avyayam. Tribhigi gunamayayi bhavayagi. These three modes of nature, three forms. Tribhigi gunamayayi. Previously, already in the previous sloka itself, Krishna has very clearly listed what are those three forms of gunas: Satvika, Bhavaga, Rajasa, Tamasasya. But here Krishna is saying that Tribhigi gunamayagi bhavayagi yebhigi sarvamidam jagat mohitam. So this entire universe, this entire world, people everywhere, they are bewildered by these three modes of material nature, because we are controlled, we are influenced by the three modes of material nature. So that's why Tribhigi gunamayagi bhavayagi yebhigi sarvamidam jagat mohitam na abhijanati. So they don't know me. They don't know about me. They don't know about me. That's why here people say there is no God in control, there is no Krishna. When we say Krishna is the supreme personality of God. Oh, how can I believe that? How can I accept that? So people have different kinds of faith and they don't want to believe all such things because everyone in this world, they are bewildered by the three modes of material nature. That's why Krishna is saying that Tribhihi guna mayaihi bhavaihi yebhihi sarvamidam jagat mohitam nabijanati mamyebhyaha param avyayam. Because I am above the three modes of material. Mamyebhyaha param avyayam. Krishna is above the three modes of material nature. So that's why this world doesn't know about Krishna. We don't know about Krishna. So we cannot expect each and everyone should become devotee of Krishna and become start chanting Krishna's name. That is not possible, impossible. If that is possible, Krishna would have done this long time ago. If it is possible for Krishna to make everyone to chant Krishna, remember Krishna, and go back to Goloka, then Krishna would have done it long time ago. It is not possible. But Krishna is giving us an opportunity for us to clean ourselves. Atma Suddhaya. Krishna is giving us an opportunity to purify ourselves, purify the soul. So by what means? Very easy means, very easy, very straightforward and easy process, easy job. Just by ourselves knowing this Bhagavad Gita and identifying the devotees. So the process is that ourselves should know the Bhagavad Gita very well. Then we should be able to identify devotees who don't know Bhagavad Gita. They are already devotees. That means once you give this knowledge, immediately they will take it. But they don't have that knowledge. So there are so many such Atmas, so many individuals are there. Would-be devotees are there. So, so that's why Krishna is saying that one who is able to identify and give this knowledge to others. So then that is the process to purify ourselves, to purify our soul. So that way we will be constantly connected with Krishna. When we are surrounded by only devotees of Krishna, that means when we are interacting with only devotees of Krishna, so then we will be able to, together we will be able to clean ourselves, cleanse our soul, purify our soul, Atma Suddhaya. Then we will be able to go above the modes of nature. That's what Krishna is saying, that Mamyebhyaha param avyayam. I am above the modes of nature. Natvagam tesu te mai. So I am not in them, they are in me. So like that, we need to achieve those two qualifications, that we should go above the three modes of material nature. Mamyebhyaha param. So we need to go above. And natvagam tesu. We should also not be in them. So that's what both meaning the same thing. Both meaning the same thing. Natvagam tesu param mebhyaha param avyayam. So we should come above the three modes of material nature. So that is possible only with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So that should be the ultimate goal of our life. The ultimate goal of our life is to free ourselves from the three modes of material nature. But how is that going to be possible? Only by serving Krishna. No other way. There is no other way one can free from the three modes of material nature. Only by serving Krishna out of love. Bhakti yogena sevate. That is the main thing. Bhakti yogena sevate. So when we serve Krishna with love and devotion, we will be able to free ourselves. Sagunan samati taitan. We will be able to free ourselves from the three modes of material nature. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we have successfully finished shloka number 13 today in the 7th chapter. So I will stop now and we will discuss if any questions are there.